My ranger's name is Xavier Lothright. It is day one. I have set up the board. I have set up the cards. I've set up everything we need. You can check me out on live stream at twitch.tv/FNG Or you can check these videos out after the fact on YouTube under Friendly Neighborhood Gamer, which, by the way, has immaculate art that some nice viewer set up for us. Yeah, that's not going to work. I was going to try to pull this and adjust the camera view so that you didn't see all the white, but that's what we got. // It's one of them slashes. If you go end up somewhere on the dark web, that's your fault, not mine. All right, let us begin our journey. Cresting the gentle grassy hill, you see the unmistakable silhouette of Lone Tree Station. It rises out of the highland plains before you. Lone Tree Station is aptly named. The single massive giga redwood towers above the hills and swaying grass that surround it. You can just make out eaves and balconies among the gnarled bark, doors tucked into the winding roots, and hanging gardens suspended from branches. As you draw closer, a woman in a freshly pressed cloak steps out from the main entrance and waves. Calypsa, your mentor for the past 9 months, strides towards you with a man who looks just about your age at her heels. "Hello," she calls out. That's how it says it, with an A instead of an E. "You made it. Just look at you." She claps your hand, her smile warm and her grip firm. "I'm glad to finally have you here," she says. Then she turns. "This is Cal Ivor. I trained Cal last year, right before I started training you." Cal Ivor gives you a nod and greeting. "A pleasure," he says. It tells me to put the Lone Tree Station and play into the surroundings. I've already done that. No, we're not starting in a tavern. Lolo Lime. Calypsa heads back to the station with you and Cal in tow. She speaks back over her shoulder. "Please make yourself at home, explore the hanging gardens, find Spirit Speaker Nal and Cordo, and strike up a conversation. Get to know the place. After you've spent some time here at the station, you should head over to White Sky," she says. "In fact, High Pimpot has some juniper biscuits baking right now. His food is legendary around these parts. Once those biscuits are ready and you've had a chance to poke around, take a parcel over to White Sky and offer them to the people you meet. It's been at least a year since our neighbors have enjoyed the company of rangers bearing treats." She turns to look at Cal. "What do you think, Cal? Good way to get started?" Cal grins at you in a way that you can't quite describe as a sneer. "Handing out baked goods? I think that's perfectly suited to their abilities." That man's talking shit. So we get our first ranger choice. So we can tell Cal what he could do with his condescending attitude, or just ignore him. Chat, do you have an opinion? This will have a lasting effect. Blue votes to tell him off. Choose violence. And I'm surprised that Lolo Lime also says choose violence. All right, tell Cal what he could do with his condescending attitude. Calypsa glares. "Recall the wisdom of our ancestors," she says. Treat each other with kindness. On kind, she punches you on the shoulder, and on the ness, she punches cows. Wright stood up to Cal on the campaign tracker. Do no harm, take no shit, Blue says. And Lolo Lime says, he started it. So, under our notable events, stood up to Cal. Don't start no shit, won't be no shit. And then it says, gain the biscuit delivery mission. Got it right there. Boom. It's like I was prepared for this. Calypso turns to you. Cal and I are heading out into the valley. We'll be on shadow patrol. That is, we'll never be too far away from you for the next few weeks. You shouldn't need our help, of course, Cal says. I can tell by looking at you that you're more than capable. Oh, now he's trying to be nice. Farewell for now, Calypso says, and starts down the eastern path away from Lone Tree. Spirits guide you, follow your instinct. She and Cal walk steadily out of sight. So my instructions are to explore Lone Tree Station to find High Pimpot, retrieve the juniper biscuits, and learn what to do next. All right, we're going to move this off to the side here. I've got my sheet. I'll move that to the side over here, and we'll start. So let's switch to the right camera angle so you can see my beautiful play area. I'm hiding my screen blue behind my head. Blue says, ha, I knew they'd stand down. Huzzah! And Lolo Lime says, so I'm hearing this right? We're finding the likely stale biscuits that's been sitting in a station? That is incorrect. We're actually finding High Pimpot, and he is baking fresh biscuits that we're going to take away. So we start our game off with 6 cards. There's 4, 5, 6. And as always, I will play them face up because I want you guys to be able to see them. Not that you guys will be able to see it from the distance, but we have the intention translator, the link. I don't have a lingering injury. I totally did not get mauled to death by otter cats in the game that didn't happen. Intention translator, one with nature, carbon forged trowel, a boundary sensor, an Orland thumper, and one with nature. And Blue is giving me props. This is acceptable, I suppose. Mongo is judging, though. All right, so upon setup for Lone Tree Station, search the path deck for the next predator and discard it, and then draw 1 path card. So I'm looking for a predator. Predator found. Put them over there. It does not say to shuffle, and I got a couple cards, so I'm not going to do that. And I draw into Cordo Ranger, veteran. So round 1, each ranger draws 1 path card. So that was set up. Now we're getting into the first round. I draw a card. It's an overgrown thicket. It goes into the middling area. Then it's the ranger turn. Cordo here is one of the ranger veterans. So I'm going to read the appropriate talking point this time. 91. Not that I didn't do that last time. 91.5. So this guy Cordo, the Ranger veteran, says, "Well, I've been in the Rangers for a few decades, survived more Aatrox attacks than I can count." Cordo rubs his chin. "Once, I was one of the best hunters in the valley. I suppose I still am. But these days, I spend most of my time keeping things running smoothly around here, though I do get out for a hunt every now and then." His voice takes a tone of mock severity. "I'd take you on a hunt right now, in fact, but you have some biscuits to deliver. You're not going to let the people of White Sky starve, are you?" Each ranger soothes to fatigue. Man, it's the first card, and so I don't get to do that. And then I discard him. So he's just like, "Bye, bitch." So I guess it doesn't let you really do it, interact with anything of the characters. All right. So my first thing I have to get over is this overgrown thicket. So there's a couple ways I can do this. It's an obstacle. It's a feature, flora, obstacle. I can test awareness plus the compass symbol to hunt for a way through the dense foliage and add tokens to this feature equal to your effort. I'm going to use my, I will do that because I need to get past this essentially. So I'm going to spend an effort. There's my awareness token. That's 2. And to clear this, I would need a 2 or better. So I'm kind of not doing, like I'm taking a risk here because it requires 2 and I've got 2 exactly. So if my test card comes up, it could be bad. But fortune favors the bold. Boom. All right, so I drew the test card. It did not take away any awareness. It did take away focus, but that's not the test we're on. And it would go, you would handle the symbol first and then do the action. So go down. It says if because I drew the mountain symbol on the card, the mountain symbol on the overgrown thicket would say discard 1 token from this feature, and it fatigues you. Thankfully, I haven't put any tokens on it yet. So that finishes. My tokens go on. Boom, boom. This gets discarded, which we'll put down there. And that clears it, right? It says, yep. So I get 2 tokens on there, and that clears that. So I was able to use my trowel to like dig through all these overgrown thickets and clear the path. Well, I'm out of actions in front of me, so I need to do something. I'm still looking for this hi guy. Hi guy. Both of you guys are saying what's the worst that could happen. Makes it so no bad happens, only good. Well, I hope you're right. I'm going to use one of my common tests to traverse. Well, I don't want to traverse yet because I don't want to leave this area. I need to find. I need to find this card. There is an action on. I need to find high. So it says awareness plus hearts. I have a heart there. I have a heart there. I actually have 2 1 with nature cards. So I've got a couple cards I can do that with. And it says search beneath the comforting shade of your Giga Redwood home to scout path cards equal to your effort and then draw 1 path card. So again, when you scout cards, it lets you draw that many cards and then either put them on top or bottom in any order that you wish. And then it says you can draw a card. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend another awareness. I'll spend one of my nature cards. So that gives me a 2. And sure. Because I don't want to use all. You can use as many of these tokens as you want, and it gives you higher amounts. But I want to be able to take another action. So I'll do 2. I'm testing, so I'll flip over my card. Bazaar. I don't know what bazaar means. +1 to my awareness, so I have a 3. So I get to draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. I drew High Pimpot. I drew another Overgrown Thicket and a Prowling Wolfhound. You know what? The Overgrown Thicket and the Prowling Wolfhound can get fucked. I'm going to put them on the bottom. And High Pimpot. He's a chef. That's the guy I'm looking for. So I put him back on top. I clear my testing area. And then I draw a card. And who is it but fucking High Pimpot? Imagine that. He drops directly in front of me, and I read his story. High Pimpot, 91.3. It says, you come across a massive pile of discarded and sliced vegetables, roots, and tubers. Occasionally, more slices fly through the air and land on top of the pile. Back already? A voice says from beyond the vegetable pile. I told you, there's no silverfin curry to be had until the fish are marinated for at least 3 hours. A head pokes out from behind the pile. Oh, it's you. I thought you were Elder Thrush. She gets so impatient on silverfin curry day. Calypso sent you for the biscuits, eh? They're just out of the oven. Let me know when you're ready to leave, and we'll get you on those biscuits to the good people of White Sky straight away. Blue in chat says, yeah, get wrecked, awful cards. So the next thing says, travel away from Lone Tree Station while High Pimpot is in play to continue the mission. All right. So now I need to leave. He's in play. I need to leave, which means I need to interact with that. So let's see what I can do there. To traverse, it's a fitness test. So I'm spending one of my fitness plus another compass. I need 3 tokens on the card to traverse and leave. And it's asking for compass cards. I've only got 1 left, and I kind of want to keep my trowel. I have a Orlin Thumper, which is like an energy pulse weapon that can scare away enemies and stuff. The Carbon Forged trowel can be used to like help me take out plants and flora, but it can also be used to stab a motherfucker. So I'll do that. I'll spend. I won't use the card as equipment. I'll instead use it for the icon. So that gives me 2. I need 3. So I'm gonna double down and spend another token. Shake. All right. So that's 3. That's exactly how much I need. So fingers crossed, the test will go well. And it does. I get the bad thing, or the bad symbol. So I go through that first. High Pimpot has the red symbol on the bottom. It says, if there's an active predator, exhaust it and add a damage token to this being equal to that predator's presence. There are no predators because, as Blue said, I put them underneath the deck to get wrecked. The test didn't give me any, but I had 3 enough, so I put 3 on there. We are cruising through White Tree Station. I like it. Clearing this area. I put a 3 token on that. I still have actions on this turn if I want to take it. Um, so I'm going to focus. Or I can equip some of this stuff. Yeah, I'll equip my intention translator. I don't have any fitness to equip the Orland Thumper, so I'll have to do that maybe next turn. So that leaves me only with 2 cards. But I've got my intention thumper. I'm going to put 3 tokens on that, so I know that I have 3 uses of it. So it says if I wanted to use this, exhaust to use a charge. When a ranger performs a connect test, commit 1 effort. So it gives me an extra token when I'm connecting with other people because the psychic band helps me make friends. I picked it because I'm not good at making friends with the cards that I chose. Imagine that. All right. Is there anything else I want to do? I think I will remember. So it says, remember your training, scout the ranger cards equal to your effort, and then draw 1 card. So I'll spend another of my focus to do that. So I test it. Huzzah! I got +1, so I get to scout 2 cards. And then there are no sun symbols out currently. So, and it has the reshuffle symbol. So we'll reshuffle the deck in a moment. I get 2 cards. Look at that. I got another Carbon Forge Trowel and then a favorite gear. Looking at the iconography that I have, I want both of these cards. I think I'm going to put the Carbon Forge Trowel on top. And then I draw 1 card. Boom. I could do more things, but I'm not really. I want to move on with the quest. Hey, Cats entered the chat. What's up, Cats? Welcome to the chat. Slide these over. I just noticed in our video, in our picture, that you couldn't see my discard there. And I feel like Blue would fuss at me if he was here. He'd pop me on the wrist like a good Catholic nun. All right, so I have done everything I want to do for the turn. So we go to step 3 of a round structure with travel. I have tokens equal to the amount, so I can travel. Let's see what the book of writing says. It says 91.7. High Pimpot crosses his arms and gives you a severe look. You better grab those biscuits and hit the trail before they cool too much. They're still good cold, mind you, but they're just so much better when they're warm. You raise your hands and tell him you're just about to leave. Good, he says. Just let me know when you're ready and I'll be right here waiting. Oh, I guess I wasn't supposed to clear that. That was the wrong one, but he's... there we go, 1.1. That's what I'm supposed to read. High Pimpot places the last juniper biscuit into the basket and hands it to you. There's no better way to begin a friendship than with a freshly baked biscuit, bitch. I added that part. He says, the people of White Sky just love meeting new rangers. They always come bearing treats. High Pimpot winks and takes a biscuit for himself. You shoulder the basket. As you do, the enticing aroma of biscuits wafts up from the basket. You remember that you haven't eaten anything since breakfast. Your stomach growls. Surely they won't miss one or two. Flip the biscuit delivery mission to the biscuit basket side. That's a tongue twister. Uh, then choose a ranger to equip it. Well, I'm the only one, so I'll equip it. So I'm equipping this. I have 3 tokens that need to go in there. My handy dandy little bag here, full of tokens. While I'm doing that, Blue says, I wouldn't pop you on the wrist. I would just say something sarcastic like, gee, would be cool if Mongo could see that discard. And then Lolo Lime says, pop on the wrist is a little more daddy coded. Well, he just got the title of Tech Daddy last night, so he's working his way in there. All right, so I currently have each one of my equipments takes up a spot. Takes up 2 spots. We have 5 spots in total. So we have 4 spots taken. I have 1 spot left for equipment. And with that, I leave. So looking at this biscuit bag here, it says spirit plus heart. You can give a biscuit to move one of the biscuits to a human that does not have a biscuit on them, and it lets you add 4 tokens to them. So it like just advances the story. Tech Guardians. Sorry. I'd like a gin flavored biscuit, Lolo Lime says. These are hibiscus, I believe, which if we're being honest, I've never actually tasted hibiscus, but I've smelled it and it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't sound very appealing to me. But to each their own. But then the other action on the biscuit basket is I can do awareness plus triangle and sneak a biscuit to soothe 3 fatigue and move 1 biscuit to my roll. So if I can choose to eat one of these biscuits and heal fatigue. All right, so we are now moving to the next area. So all of the player stuff stays the same, but the location stuff changes. So I'm going to break down the location deck. Take me uno momento, por favor. I really didn't get to see a lot of High Tree Station or Lone Tree Station because I found High Pimpot pretty quick, which I'm not complaining. Move the story along. Maybe they are Juniper. You're probably right, and I'm probably wrong. Let's look at the card. It doesn't say on the card. I know it said it in the storyline. So I've got all of those. Put the Lone Tree Station away. And we're also moving. I haven't shown this video. This world is huge. We're currently in Lone Tree Station. We're moving to White Sky. I know this is probably not very visible from where you're at, and I've tried to zoom in previous videos, but it doesn't really make it more visible. But the path between there is Lakeshore because we're right outside of this lake. I think it's the Silverfin. So we are changing locations from the woods to the lakeshore. So we'll see some new cool stuff. First and foremost, we will get the new location card of White Sky and all the cards that go along with that. And then we need put back the forest deck. Because when playing these types of games, it's really important to keep things organized. Take out the lakeshore. All right, so we have the lakeshore deck. We have the cards that go with white sky. So we'll put white sky up here and we'll have to follow the instructions for that. Looks like there's 3 different characters and a location called the Bubble, but I don't want to spoil it because if we don't run into any of them, then we won't get to find out any of their stories. Lolo Lime in chat says, hibiscus is essentially sorrel. If you've ever had that at a Jamaican spot, it's kind of akin to a pomegranate, flavor-wise. That's good to know. I've only been to Jamaica twice, and the hand pies are amazing. Little meat pies. Ten out of 10 would go again just for some meat pies. Patties, yeah. I don't know, I just was shoving them in my mouth. They're like little Hot Pockets with some seasoning on them. In them. The lady that was making them at the place we were at, she was mean mugging us pretty bad, but I found out that the meaner the person looked at you or the meaner they were to you, the better the food tasted, which is the opposite of what I'm aware of. Yep, that's how you know they'll be good. I'm shuffling these up pretty good just to make sure that I don't get just to make sure that I get a good combination there. All right. White Sky. It has a book notation to be read. And I imagine you wouldn't read this every time, but our first time, we'll read it. White Sky says, from the vantage point, you can see much of the southern shore of the White Sky Lake. So I was wrong. That's the White Sky Lake. From the froth of the rapids at the head of the Silverfin River to the mix of rocky promontories and pebble-strewn beaches that slowly curve around toward the opposite shore. There you see the village of White Sky and the tiny forms of villagers going about their business on the platforms and docks. All right, let's see what we can meet. It says arrival setup. Lone Ranger, lead ranger, not the Lone Ranger. I don't have a Tonto. Draws 1 path card. First card I draw is Elder Murtok Grawl. We'll be reading his information, I guess. The location we're at has a test on it, awareness plus heart. You can search the shores beside the towering parasols of White Sky to scout path cards equal to your effort, then draw 1 path card. So most of these are like at the bigger locations are allowing you to kind of go through them. Cats, it's a pleasure as always. Thank you for showing up. So let's go ahead and read Elder Murtok Grawl. Older gentleman, got a cane, kind of giving you the side eye. He is 51. I'm used to older elders giving me the side eye. If a ranger has a biscuit basket equipped, go to 5.1.1. Well, what do we have here? Elder Murtok sets down his fishing pole and walks towards you. The Ranger's famous juniper biscuits. You were right, I was wrong. Uh, the smell alone is almost enough to make me forget about our troubles. If only we could solve our problems with baked goods. This man dropping some. We got problems. All right. It says clear Elder Murtok with tokens to learn what's troubling him. About to feed this motherfucker a biscuit. He's friendly. He's a being, human, and a villager. It takes a mere 2 tokens per ranger. There's only one ranger to clear him. I can focus and use triangle to listen to the wisdom of the elders to return a moment from your hand to your collection. Moment is a keyword for cards. I was supposed to draw a card at the beginning of the turn. I wonder what it was. Oh, it was favorite gear because I put it there. Lolo Lime says, give that man a biscuit. These all reset because it's a new turn. Doing these slightly out of order, but I'll get there. All right, so we start at the beginning. So all the Rangers draw a path card. Oh, fuck. It's a Romping Lutrinol. I don't know if you can see that, but it's essentially an otter cat. That's what I'm calling it. It looks like a cat, an otter, had a baby. It is a being. It is a predator. It is also prey, and it's a mammal. Ambush. It's one of those keywords that I was supposed to remember, and I did not. So let's look up what ambush does. Ambush. Page 26. Ambush says when a card with the ambush keyword enters play within reach or moves within reach of a ranger, it fatigues that ranger. So fatiguing is just me taking the top card of my deck, and I put it next to my discard face down. Yep. Kind of scares the crap out of me. Comes out hissing, angry. We're going to keep this open because I might have more questions about keywords. All right. So now we go into the turn proper. I can play a card, perform a test, or rest. I think my first action, I'm going to equip the Orland Thumper. So I spend the 1 fitness to equip it, and it takes up 1 equipment slot. So I now have 5 of 5 equipment slots filled. It has 3 tokens on it. So I'm going to put 3 of these tokens on there to show that it still has 3 charges. And the keyword on it says fitness plus hex. Use 1 pulse. Strike 2 with a pulse of kinetic energy to add 1 damage to a being and exhaust it. If you failed, discard 1 token from that being. If you cannot, it fatigues you instead. So it's a little pulse. It's a kinetic pulsar that like runs animals off. Because again, in this game, you're very peaceable. You're not trying to murder people. You're not trying to murder animals. You're trying to live with nature. So instead of like just straight up murking people, you're running animals off. There are key moments when you have to like maybe kill something if it's like an apex predator or something and it's outside of the natural order. But for the most part, you're just running things off or not really killing it. But I guess it's flavor. All right. We did end a turn. Let me get to my little baggie over here. I'm supposed to be keeping up with the day time. So we started the perfect day weather with 3. We ended a turn, which takes 1 off because eventually the weather will turn bad. It's not bad. It's just bad for the first day or two. It's perfect weather, and it gets, I think, sunny, and it fatigues you a little bit. Um, all right. So I did that, I think, because I put that down, and this is a predator. It does fatigue me equal to its thing, so I lose another card, which is fine. A lot of people are like, man, this I don't want to be fatigued. That's actually a mechanic in the game that you want to do, because fatiguing is how you draw cards, essentially, because you only being able to draw one card per turn, um, and you're using them up pretty quick. It kind of limits what you can do. So through fatiguing and then healing fatigue, that's how you get more cards into your hand. Lolo Lime says biscuits and stun guns, very demure. All right, I think first and foremost, I need to get rid of this romping Lutronol. So I will try, that'll be my next thing. So I'll use a fitness. And I don't have, ugh, that sucks. Maybe not. I don't have any of those, that symbol. I could, I could test my luck. Hmm. Also, as a guardian, I have the ability to exhaust, reduce a being's presence to 0 until the end of the turn. So I'm going to do that and say that I did that at the very beginning. First retcon. What level of tech exists in the world? Stun gun doesn't sound very back to nature. So this is in the far. This is far in the future. We have reset the Earth. We went into like these um, communities underground and used technology to rebalance the Earth back to the way it was. And once Earth was back healthy again, we came back out, and we have chosen as a species to work with nature versus, you know, uh, not working with nature. So I feel like stun gun is good instead of like just straight up murking an animal. You like, hey, get out of here. Lolo Lime says there's also some sort of telepathy band. Nature is relative. It's an intention translator. It helps me get my intentions across. It literally is just a metal band that wraps around your head and helps you get your intentions across. I'm picturing the Big Bang Theory episode where, like, in the background, the guy's holding up the card sarcasm. This is just a band that like pops up sarcasm when I say something sarcastic or something like that. Very low key technology. It has a Rolodex of like cards that tell you what my intention are that pop up. All right. So now this thing's presence is 0, so I could act, and the negative things won't affect me for this turn. It could still attack me. It could still do things like that, but I'm ignoring it for the moment. So with that being the case, I want to feed this man a biscuit. So to do that, it's spirit plus heart, and I need a 2 to give him a biscuit. So we'll do that. Spirit is my dump stat. Uh, Awareness is my highest stat. I have 3 tokens for that. Both fitness and awareness, or sorry, fitness and focus are 2, and then spirit is my dump stat. That's why I took the intention translator, because I'm not very good at spirit or connecting with things. Spirit, boom. Heart. So I'll use my other card that I have here, one with nature. I'm not going to use the keyword on it because it is expensive. It's a 3 cost card, so I'm just using it for the heart. So that gives me a 2. The basket requires I hit 2. So let's test this and see if I'm good. Oh wait, I'm supposed to shuffle these. I'll shuffle them real quick. In the next scene, the villain pulls out a brick phone to call in his henchmen via their pager beepers. What? I said this is the far future, not the 1990s. you silly. All right, I have shuffled the test deck. Holy smokes. So I drew the worst card I could draw. It's -2 to Spirit. Retro tech is future tech. Bring back the rotary phone. And then Blue says, and then Lolo Lime says, there are no villains, only cranky neighbors. Well, I failed the test, so nobody got a biscuit. There's a dog barking. So I had 2 there. The test required 2, but the card I drew is -2 focus. But before we do any of that, we have to handle the bottom of the card there. So it has the red symbol, the bad symbol, and we can order we can do these in any order from top down. Nothing up here has red, nothing here has red. These have red. So it says, if there's an active predator, exhaust it and add 1 damage to this being equal to that predator's presence. Or if there's an active romping Lutrinol, exhaust each of them, and this being, and then I would suffer 1 injury. So I will activate Elder Murtok Grawl first. It says, if there's an active predator, exhaust it and add damage equal to its to that predator's presence. Well, I made this guy's presence 0 for the turn. And then, so that activates it, exhausts it. It tries to attack me, but its presence is 0 because I activated it and now it is exhausted and we don't need to do anything on its red card. So there's that. Jesus. So both of these guys are exhausted. I don't have any spirit left to try and feed this man a biscuit. I'm like trying to cram it in his mouth. Like, you want to eat it? Well, I need more cards. So I'm going to try and do the remember. Oh, geez, that's the worst. Maybe not. Yeah, I'm lacking card draw. So I could just try to straight up eat one of these biscuits myself, but it's using up my icons here, and I need those for various things. I'm lacking the second symbol to try and pulse this Lutrinol, this romping Lutrinol away. For me to try and feed him another biscuit, I'll have to wait till I reset my turn, which will force me to draw another card, and we'll see what happens. I don't want to deal with that. So, was that a connect? No, it was a give. I'm assuming something's happening outside because the dogs are barking. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what I want to do here. I think I will try to remember. Focus, remember your training, scout cards, and draw. So I'm going to use both of my focus for that. Let's clear up my play area here. Use both of my focus for 2. We'll flip over this. Oh, Jesus, I am getting bad luck with my skill tests. Blue says, alrighty, I got to go to my next thing. Have a great rest of the stream and good luck, Bear. Remember, do no harm, take no shit. Represent. Lolo Lime says, it's tired and took no damage. Homebrew rules say it's now your house pet. No, I don't want that as my house pet. Angry cat otter thing. So I lost 1 focus. This says if you are adding a token, add an additional one. I'm not adding a token. I don't have any other mountain symbol, so I lose 1. So I only get one. So I'm looking at the top card of my deck. It has a traverse or compass symbol. I think I needed that for something. I needed that for... no, actually I don't need that. The pulse is a link symbol. The biscuits is a heart symbol. So I'm going to put local fair. It says when a ranger performs a test, they may add 1 damage to flora to dodge each being in the same area as the flora. So you can use the flora to hide. I don't need that card, so I'm putting it there, and then I draw the next card. And I get bold, which is pretty much what I needed. 2 compasses. Is it what I needed? It's not what I needed, but it's something. Definitely can help me move from this area. I don't really have any available. Let's see, avoid. I could do a traverse test and get that ready to leave, but I don't want to leave yet. So I think I'm done for this round. So I untap everything. I look at location. I don't have enough tokens on there to travel. Refresh. I'm refreshing everything. I put all my tokens back. I remove the second day token off of perfect day. I draw a card. Hey, a triangle. I do think I needed a triangle for something. Nope, I'm lying. I don't need a triangle for anything. I am not drawing the icons I need to do things. But we'll make it work, guys. Heart of the cards. Top of the round. Each ranger draws 1 path card. I draw Tributary Stream. It's a feature water obstacle. So essentially, there's 3 areas of play. There's the one directly in front of you that only you can handle. There's the second area. All these have actual terms, but they're hard to remember. In this area, if there were multiple rangers, you could all affect this area. The things that are directly in front of you, only you can affect. And then the third area is like it's like the environment, that kind of stuff. So this one, the tributary stream goes into the up the road a little ways area. It's an obstacle, spirit plus heart, soak. It says you can soak your feet in the cold, clear water to move your focus to this feature and soothe fatigue equal to your effort. So I could get my fatigue cards up, or I can focus and compass to follow the cheerily winding stream to move your focus to this feature and add 1 token to this feature. And that's how you clear it, is everybody has to have their focus on it to clear it. So at some point, I'll have to clear that. So first and foremost, I don't want to mess with this cat otter. So I'm going to exhaust my guardian card to make its presence 0 so that it can't make me discard cards or anything like that. I can only do that to 1. So if there's another one coming up, that's bad news bears. But right now, that's all we're dealing with. All right, I really need to give this man a biscuit. And I need a heart for that. I don't have a heart. So I need to draw more cards. So I'm going to remember, which is focus based. And it's a triangle. So I'll spend 1 focus. I'll spend Nature's Abundance to essentially mill through my deck and look for cards that I need. I've got a 2 so far. Let's flip this over and see what we get. I did not get a bad card. I did get the bad on this portion. We go from top to bottom. We've already kind of done this. So I'm going to activate Elder Murtok first with the bad stuff. Exhaust it and add 1 damage to him, but there's equal to its presence. I've already made its presence 0. So this exhausts it. and it does 0 damage to him. For the actual test I was doing, I get to draw 2 cards. I get to look at 2 cards, put them back in any order I want. All right, so of the 2 cards that I drew, one has the link symbol, persuasive. It has other abilities, but I'm looking at symbols right now because I'm trying to get these tests done, and that's how you essentially do it. The other one has a heart. I think the heart they're both good. I'm going to leave them on top, and then after I get done scouting, I can put them on top or bottom. I've put them back on top, and I put the heart on top, and I draw 1 card. Boom. Which gives me the heart, which is what I need for the next test. Here's the problem. I got to do the test and hope that it works. So let's try it out. I'm gonna try to give him another biscuit. I'm spending 2. Heart of the cards. God almighty. -1. So it says if this test added a token, add an additional token. So then I would need 2. Gosh, I'm struggling to get these biscuits in this man's mouth. He's like fighting me, and I'm trying to shove them in there. No, I don't want your biscuit. Eat my biscuit, man. This is how we treat elders where I come from. Eat your biscuit. I feel like he's like, you gotta catch me. And he's just running away from me. Oh, I am sad as well. Hello. Why can't you give this man a biscuit? They say. All right. I'm struggling to give this man a biscuit. Oh, all right. That's the problem with card games. Sometimes you can't control what comes up. I also have the very low focus, our spirit, so it's like I'm failing that. So I'm gonna do another focus and try and draw another card, so I can maybe try to get rid of this this cat. That'll be 1 problem down. So I'm spending the focus. I don't have any other focus cards needed, or I don't really want to spend anymore. So it's just 1. Flip over for focus. Oh my God, I am failing. -1 focus. So it makes the test a 0. Lolo Lime says he don't have teeth and his mouth is dry. So each token represents a different stat. And I can spend more than 1, but I only have 2 focus tokens. So I used the first one to do the first test to let me scout through my deck. I'm using the second one to do it, but I drew a -1 focus on the test card. So I can't focus. Apparently my character's having problems. This old man's talking to me too much, and I can't focus on drawing the cards that I need, remembering my training. Jesus, I'm struggle busting. If I wanted to try and get rid of the tributary stream, I would also need to focus. So that doesn't help either. So I have to pass because I don't have to pass. I'm going to use both of my fitness tokens because I don't have any of the icons to add an extra. I'm not drunk. I'm just struggling over here. All right. So 2 tokens. I needed a 2 to strike this guy with the taser. So I got 2. I have 2. Let's see what the test does. Oh my! I'd really like to get a shuffle card because I'm just drawing bad cards right now. -1 to fitness. So I needed 2. I go down to 1. So I fail. The bad stuff goes down. We've already done the bad stuff on these, so there isn't anything there. So essentially, I just have to uh, not do that. Only thing I have left is awareness. I've already the only predator that's out is exhausted, so I don't need to do that. So I think this actually it says if you fail, discard. Uh, it basically uses it fatigues me because I failed, and it uses up one of my charges on my pulse, on my Orlin Thumper. Chad says, no, the ranger in the game is drunk off juniper gin, biscuits, and can't focus. Can you just like run away? I could run away, but that's not like that. My job is to deliver these biscuits. I need to feed this man. I got 3 biscuits. I got 3 tokens in the biscuit man. So the quest is done when I get all 3 of these biscuits into either somebody else's hands or I eat them myself, which I'm gonna try not to eat them, but yeah. Let's see if I can ban a person. I've never had. I usually have a moderator do that. Well, it counts as a person talking. We'll take it. Um, so the turn ends. Travel. I have not put anything on the location to travel. Refresh. All of my tokens go back. The romping Lutrinol opens up, and we lose our last perfect day. It says it flips over to now midday sun. So during the refresh phase, we'll add a cloud to this card. If there are 3 or more clouds, flip this card. And it gives me the option to try and find some shade so that the bad things don't happen. The bad things are when the sun cards pop up, it gives me 1 fatigue, which takes a card off my deck. So for those of y'all asking, the day ends when I run out of cards in my deck. So I have to eventually go to the nearest town and chill. Maybe it'll be better this time. I agree. So then we go top of round, path cards. I draw a card. I draw fresh blue kelpweed. It's a feature, flora, and water. It's not a bad one. It has focus plus triangle. Says you can wrap the pungent leaves around a wound to add 1 damage to this feature and either heal 1 injury from a ranger or discard 2 damage from a being. So it's a good plan. And then it has mountain symbol on the bottom. If there's a romping Lutrinol within reach, it escapes to the weeds and it moves along the way. So it moves up, which wouldn't be a bad thing. All right. I believe it, chat. We're going to get this. We're going to get this good. I draw a card. 2 hearts. Safeguard. So it costs 0 focus to play this card. If I wanted to do the bottom, which says when a ranger would suffer an injury or damage would be added to a being, cancel the effect, and then I suffer the injury instead. So essentially, I can block damage for an NPC because there are no other rangers with me. Cool, but the thing I'm interested in are the icons, and there are 2 of them, and they're hearts. And that's what I need to feed this man a freaking biscuit. So I believe in it. So first action of the turn, wash, rinse, repeat as before. I'm going to exhaust my guardian card to make his focus. Presence, 0. So therefore he can't deal any damage to us. Let's see. Let's do that one first. So we'll try and feed this man a biscuit. I'll spend my only spirit card, or my only spirit token, and I'll spend the card. So that is a total of 3 for the test. I need 2. Thankfully, I put there's 3 instead of 2. So it gives me -1 spirit. So I go from 3 down to 2, but I need 2 to pass. So I'm able to corner this man and shove a biscuit in his mouth, essentially. So I put a biscuit on him, and then that puts, it says 4 tokens. So I got a 3 right here and a 1. I only needed 2 to clear this guy, but I got 4 on there. He's gonna eat this biscuit. Um, so then we'll clear. We'll see what happens when we clear. Before we do that, we need to test the rest of these. So mountain, up here there's no mountain. Here there's no mountain. Down here there's a mountain. So I can do these in any order. It says if there's an active predator other than a romping lutronel, exhaust it and add damage equal to its presence to this being. So a larger predator could attack the romping lutronel and deal damage to it because it is also a prey. It's like a middle level predator. It could be prey or predator. And then the fresh blue kelpweed said if there's a romping lutronel within reach, it escapes through the weeds and moves along the way. So this moves up to there. So now as a group, if there were more people, they could fight with me. Anyways, all right, we put a biscuit in this man's mouth. Eat it. 51. 51, and it says 51.5. Elder Murdoch shakes his head. It's hard to think of any problem greater than quiet. This massive, I think I was using an older voice, this massive bearded lynx has been stalking our shores for weeks. She nearly ate someone just the other day. Do you think you could get her to leave us in peace? Rangers choose. Agree to help. I gain the lure, which is a quest type, quiet, which is the name of this animal mission. Remember, search the valley set for quiet and attach her face down to the mission card. You may choose this option only if you don't have another lure or confront mission, and then discard the elder. Or I could tell the elder, you know what, not today. I got biscuits to deliver. I feel like this is I feel like that's a big ask. It's my first day. I'm just out delivering biscuits. This man's like, go take out this apex predator. What do you think, chat? Should I attempt to to fight this creature called Quiet? What do they call it? A massive bearded lynx. Lolo Lime says, well, you have been having trouble delivering biscuits. You know, you're not wrong, but I don't like the tone of the way you said that. Maybe I could feed the. No, it says humans on the biscuit basket card. Maybe you're better at fighting, Lolo Lime says. You know what? Maybe I am. I do have another carbon forged trowel, and I do have an Orland thumper. But the quest type it's giving us is a lure, so I have to essentially create a lure to either lure this creature out, and then I'm assuming, not that I've done this, I'll either have to fight it or befriend it, which we see how well I do with befriending. Don't be sorry, Lolo Lime. I keep wanting to call you Lululemon. Lolo Lime. All right, so Elder Murdoch is cleared. So I'll put him in the discard. First discard of the area. All right. Success. 2 more biscuits need to be given. Either I need to eat one myself, or we need to do it that way. So I took the quest. So let me get that quest out. mission. Confront, lure. There we go. So I grab the lure. And then I have to get got to get the card quiet and attach it to it. Quiet. Being, predator, mammal. That is a scary looking creature. It has 5 hit points per ranger, both in the social and combat area. So, like right now, this romping Lutrinel only has 2 combat or 2 health. So, and it's not scalable per ranger. It just has a flat 2 health. Or if you were trying to like socialize or make it go away peacefully, it has 5 health that way. This Lynx Quiet is a big creature and it has 5 per ranger. So if we had more people playing, it'd be harder. Let's look at this and see what the quest is. It says lure. Locate one of the local mega predators by finding prey to lure it out. When a prey is cleared, you can set it aside instead of discarding it. Jesus. It says arrive at a new location, so I have to leave this location while there are 5 or more total presents of prey set aside. So I got to find currently cards that have the keyword prey. So the Romping Lutrinel has a 1 presence. And I need 5 presents worth. So either I need to find a big deer or something, or yeah, I gotta figure out a way to lure this creature out. So we'll put this up top there. That's the quest I'm currently working on. Other than, excuse me, the biscuit basket. That being said, I have 2 charges left on my Orland Thumper. I'm going to use both of my fitness to try and handle the Romping Lutrinel with my Orland Thumper. This has a presence of 0, so it's not stopping me from interacting with that. But it'll only deal 1 damage if I'm successful. So, fingers crossed, I'll be successful. So I've got to use 2. I don't have any of the link symbols. Huzzah! It does not stop me from doing the fitness, but we have to do the mountain symbol first. If there's an active predator other than Romping Lutrinel, exhaust it. Nope. If there's a Romping Lutrinel within reach, nope. So none of those criteria are met. If they were bacon biscuits, I wouldn't have to chase that man down, Lolo Lime. He'd be like, put it in my mouth. So I take a token off, and I deal a damage to the Romping Lutrinel. He is down to 50%. Good, good, good. All right. I need more cards. So I'm going to use both my focus, boom, to try and scout my deck. Mountain again, we already know that it doesn't do anything. I don't lose it, so I look at the top 2 cards. So for the Orland Thumper, which is what I'm working towards, I need the link symbol. Neither of these cards have the link symbol on them. I'm I'm going to put them both in the bottom. They're both good cards, Green Thumb and Familiar Ground. Familiar Ground lets me put a damage on a flora and then add 3 tokens to the trail. So it lets me essentially for the cost of 1 fitness, just straight up leave an area. It has a guy like jumping over, looks like dangerous spores or something with a stick, and he's like, peace. But I need to kill these guys. So I'm putting both of those in the bottom, hoping, fingers crossed, that I draw a card that'll be useful. And I draw another safeguard, which has 2 hearts. So not great. Um, not great. But it it can be used for other tests if I wanted to connect to a creature. And I also have the headband that lets me connect as well. So it's not horrible. It's just not useful for what I want to do right now. Put those to the side and clear that out. Also, I could soak my feet into the water if I wanted to, and that would move that tributary out of the way, which I eventually will have to get rid of. But that requires a spirit. All right, we're going to end the turn. Travel, no tokens on that. Everything re-ups. We add a cloud token to the midday sun. I draw a card. Nature's Abundance has a triangle on it. Unfortunately, that's not what I need. And it's also it's a spirit-based card. Well, we haven't found Quiet yet. Currently, our quest is to lure Quiet out. So I'd essentially kill a bunch of animals and like leave them in a pile to lure this predator out. Once he comes out, I could probably use the headband to be peaceable with him. I have a feeling that's what the quest is going to be. It's either going to be befriend Quiet, or kill him because he's a bad predator. We'll see, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So I drew my card. Doesn't really help with what I want to do, but it's what I got. Top of the round, I draw another Romping Lutrinol, and he pops into play here. He has Ambush, so it makes me fatigue a card. All right, top of the round, top of the Ranger's turn. I am going to exhaust this to make this Romping Lutrinol have a presence of 0, because I want to continue to try and take this one out. I'll do a fitness test. I don't have any the link symbol, so I'm just using both my fitness tokens to try and pulse this guy. And I'd like to get rid of him because now there's 2 of them, and we know the keywords that are, if there's another active Lutrinol, they can like gang up on me. And not that happened in an alternate timeline where that show never happened, but I did get ganged up by like 4 of these at one time. So you don't want them to gang up on you. Long story short. So I spent 2. I'm using my last Orland Thumper. Oh, Jesus. -1 fitness. I needed 2. Now I'm only down to 1, so I fail. Mountain. So we go from top to bottom. It says if there is an active predator other than Romping Lutrinol, nope, there's not another active predator. Not another active predator. If there's a Romping Lutrinol within reach, it escapes the weeds. So it moves up here, which is not bad. It's bad that I shot. So it says if you fail, discard a token on the being, and if you cannot, it fatigues you instead. So I take another fatigue. This now has 0 charges on it, so it goes in the discard. I feel like I have failed myself building this deck, or I'm just all of the cards that I need are below. Um, hmm. I will. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. I agree. Lady Luck is on vacation from me today. It feels like. Um, I am going to use my one spirit to try and soak in the tributary stream. Um, so here's my spirit. I'm going to use Safeguard, which gives me a 3. So I have a 3. I need a 2 to pass. Look at that. Gives me a 0. So I'm at 3. I needed 2 to pass. So I pass. Sun symbol. So we start from the top. I take fatigue from how hot the sun is. Then we go down here. It says if there's another romping lutrinol in play, it frolics among the reeds, move it to within reach. So both of these guys come down in front of me. So now I have to handle them, or they're going to handle me eventually. Um, yep. Again, not bad, not great, but not bad. And my total was 3. I needed 2 to pass, but I got 3. So I get to take 3 cards from my fatigue pile. 1, 2, 3. I have 2 cards left over there. Let's look to see what I got. I got another Orland Thumper. I got a Boundary Sensor and a Bold. So that's my second Bold. I could equip another Orland Thumper and try and get rid of that. Why are you sighing, Lolo Lime? That's not a bad thing. I don't have any fitness to bring it out. So the carbon forged trowel takes up 2 equipment slots. I've only got 1 currently open. So until I get rid of that biscuit basket, I'm gonna have to use the Orland Thumper, which I kind of like. I kind of this one's not as good, I think, as the Carbon Forged Trowel, which is surprising. Um, I don't know. Uh, so let's oh geez. All right. Connect is a common action. It uses hearts, which I just used up all my hearts to get cards back. But that's done through spirit, and I only have 1 spirit. If I eat a biscuit, I have to roll awareness plus triangle, which I have a triangle on a couple of cards, so I could help. But awareness is my highest stat. It says soothe 3 fatigue and move 1 biscuit to your roll. I don't. Again, I'm making a wild assumption here, but um, it feels like if I don't eat any biscuits, I'll get a better reward because it says move a biscuit to your card. So I'm picturing in my mind I have like biscuits in my beard or something when whatever the card thing happens. But it does have a thing where it lets me soothe 3 fatigue. I've only got 2 cards right now. So if I'm gonna do it, I would need it. I would want to take 1 more fatigue so that I would have the maximum amount of cards I can give back. Um, I need to handle. All right, I'm gonna do awareness plus avoid. I don't want to use any of those. Um, equal to the presence of the card of which you're interacting with. So I do believe this one's presence is 0. So I spend 1, and I have to equal its presence to exhaust it. So I got a 0. 0 equals 0. So I exhaust it. So it can't bother me. It is a sun, so I do take a fatigue. It says if there's another romping lutron in play, it frolics among the reeds, move it to within reach. They're already within reach. And then I'll use my last 2 awareness to try to do the same thing to this guy. So 2, and I'm really just trying to burn through these so that I can get -1 awareness. So it brings me from a 2 down to a 1. It has a 1 presence, so I exhaust this one as well. The bad things, these guys are both exhausted, so it doesn't matter. All right, I've used up everything except for my 2 focus. Only thing I can use focus for is for remembering and drawing more cards. So I'll do that. I'll spend 2 focus. It gives me a third one, sun, so I take another fatigue. All the other things that have sun cards are exhausted. So I get to scout 3 cards. So essentially what I'm looking for here is, it seems like the combat cards require the link symbol. And I'm looking on my cards here, and out of the 3 cards that are here, only one of them has the link symbol. So I'm going to put that one on top. And while these are good cards, I'm going to put them on bottom. So essentially it's letting me mull through my deck. So I got the shuffle symbol, so I'll shuffle these cards. And with the deck, I put another cloud token on. All these go up. I'm ending my turn. So this lets me heal fatigue as well by putting my feet in the water. So a question from chat says, Lolo Lime, does the red not affect the cards that are on top or those out of play right now? So this one's in my discard. Lure says, oh, you're right. If there are 2 active predators, there are not 2 active predators. And then the writing here doesn't affect because I've not got lure out yet. I've not got quiet out yet. So if there were 2 active predators and at least 1 set aside, because I'm trying to put cards underneath here, they would essentially steal my lure. The predators would steal the lure that I've been working to build. So these guys ready. I ready. I draw a card. Hey, look at that. I drew the persuasive card, the one that I wanted. It's top of the round. I draw a new card. Tide Water Muckets. It's a prey. Unfortunately, it has a presence of 0, so it will help me none with the lure. But I can pry it open to soothe 2 fatigue. And then it has other abilities as well. Man, struggle bus. Good question, by the way, Lolo Lime. I appreciate that. All right, we're going to try and, well, first and foremost, I'm going to make this guy's presence 0. So I'll put that over that to remind me. I'm going to equip the Orland Thumper for 1, thus filling up all of my equipment slots. I did not handle the creature that was in front of me. I did take care of that one to a 0, so that fatigues me for 1. The rest of these presences are 0, and they're not a predator or anything. All right, I got to take out this guy. So I'll use my next fitness, plus the 1 symbol that I have. I need a 2. I believe that this card is going to come up and not be bad. In fact, is good. +1. The sun symbol, so we go top to bottom. I take a fatigue from the hot sun. There's no sun symbol here. It says if there's another launching, that would move it into my play. It says if there's an exhausted predator, ready it and exhaust this being. There's no exhausted predators, so nothing happens bad. I use a token off of my Orland Thumper, and it puts a 2nd damage onto the Romping Lutrinel. So I pulsed it. Let's go, Yu-Gi-Oh! Lolo Lime says. So we've got our first prey underneath the Orland Thumper. Or the Orland Thumper got us our first, I guess, kill? Straight up merkin. All right. So we have 1 of 5. Which is not bad. I am going to I'm going to spend my 1 spirit to spend favorite gear. Attached to one of your equipment gear. After you use a token from the attached gear, soothe 1 fatigue. So I'm going to put that on the Orland Thumper. So every time I use it from now on, I take a token off, it'll soothe the fatigue off of me. So it's an easy way to get fatigue back. At least 2 more times. Unfortunately, it cost me my 1 spirit. Focus is going to be used again to try and remember my training. The worst focus card. -2 focus, so I do not remember my training. In fact, it has bad red on it. It says if there are other active Lutrinels, there's not. It says if there are 2 active predators, there is not. So none of the bad things happen. It just screws over my card draw. I froze when I took the token off the shank. I don't have a shank, but essentially I just was able to I was able to kill one of these Lutrinel, Romping Lutrinels, and I put it underneath the lure. I tried to remember my training. I failed horribly. I reshuffle these cards back into the deck. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. So I was trying to get some more cards into my hand. I failed. I will spend all of my focus or my awareness to try and exhaust. I succeed. Red bad things. We've already established that there's not enough for that to happen. This guy's now exhausted. So I've used all my tokens. So now I am tired and go to sleep. Not sleep. I pass my turn. Travel. We don't have any tokens on this yet because I've been dealing with these damn cat otters. Refresh. Everything refreshes. Sorry if I'm moving quick. I'm just keeping the game moving so that everybody can hopefully see the end of this today. This readies, that readies. I draw a card. Thorough. Man, that's great. It's got two symbols for combat on it. As you put your mind to your task, your every movement carries meaning. That just has flavor text on the bottom. All right. Sometimes when you play them, you can do it. I draw a card from the area. Lutrinol Holt. I was worried about this. I was trying to get rid of it. It is a feature, it's a layer in water. So focus plus heart, you can coax the Lutrinol back to their layer to add one lure to this feature. You may discard one token from an equipped food to commit one effort. So I can put some biscuits in their like layer to let me shuffle a romping Lutrinol into the path deck for each lure on this. It says search the bad stuff on it with the mountain symbol. It says exhaust this feature, search the path deck, and discard for a romping Lutrinol and put it into play. So that's not actually bad because it seems like this area is that's the only prey that I need those. I will need those eventually. So having that out is good because I can kind of pull from more of them. I'm hoping that I was hoping that I would get more. What's the word? I was hoping that I would get another person so I can try to get rid of this basket because again, it's taking up two of my equipment slots, and I can't use any of my other equipment until I get rid of it. So, top of the round. I just remembered that I was supposed to take a fatigue when this thing came back down. I'm going to be honest and do it. I'm going to spend one fitness. I'm going to use the Orland Thumper and the new card I got, Thorough. So that puts me at 3. I need 2 to deal a damage to this guy. So I use a token. Doing that gives me 2 fatigue. Right? It heals soothe 1 fatigue. So sorry, only 1, not 2. Chet says, "Oh, you're looking in better shape." I am. I've gotten rid of 1. By the way, I forgot to say it, but I'm gonna say it now. I got rid of. I'm putting his presence down to 0 so that he can't do much to me till the end of the round. So I'm at 3. I need 2. Let's see what the test does. Holy smokes. I got a good one. Oh, at the end of the round, that's supposed to happen. So when I get 3 clouds, it flips this back over to perfect day. So I don't take another fatigue from the hot, hot sun. So fitness, we're at 3. I got +1, so 4. Top to bottom before we do anything else. If there's another romping Lutrinol in play, it doesn't. If there is an exhausted predator, there's not. So we're good to go. So I do 3. I take this. I take that off, and I deal a damage. Only problem is I don't have any more of those symbols. So for me to handle this Lutrinol, I need to deal. I would either have to risk it, and I only have 1 token left, so I don't want to risk that. I need more of the link symbols. So that being the case, I will try and remember my training and see if I can draw some. So there's 2. I need. Well, how many successes is what I get. So I have 2, 0. So I get 2 successes. Sunshine, top to bottom. Both of those, I think we just had a sunshine, so nothing happens. So I get to draw 2 cards. I get to search 2 cards. I got another favorite gear and a local fair, which is implying that I think I've kind of almost gone all the way through my deck, which is bad. Because I think the lure, like it resets, if when the day resets, my quest resets for lure. Neither of these cards are what I want, so I'm going to put them back on the bottom and draw a card. I got a green thumb. So yes, I have gone all the way through my deck. So if I have any more cards, they're going to be in this pile. I'm getting close to the end of my day for day one. I would like to, at the minimum, finish the biscuit basket quest. So I might have to take your advice and eat a biscuit because for me to be successful, because I'm one, two, three, four, five cards are left. I've been going through my deck pretty quick. So I can slow this down and try to. I don't think I'm going to get this lower quest. Lolo Lime asks, "Did I build this deck personally, or is this a pre-made deck?" I built this deck personally. The first episode I did was a zero session, and essentially I followed the rules in the book to kind of go through and choose. Like Calypso drugged me, non-consensually. She gave me some type of herbal tea that made me remember my past for story purposes. It just was like pick a background, pick a training, and like and it had different pools of cards. And again, this is a 1 to 4 player game. So with more rangers, you could have multiple decks. So you could have one ranger that's like a magic user. You could have one ranger that's like a tech guy, like a one fighter. Like you could have a well-rounded group if you had a full person team. But again, some of these cards, like the Lutrinol Holt, has it increases difficulty per ranger. Like this one has a 2 per ranger health if you want to handle it in a peaceful way. Huh. All right, so I'm gonna eat one of the biscuits. I'm gonna be a. So it says awareness. I'm gonna spend all my awareness because I want to make sure I'm successful, and I'm really not doing anything else with it. Um, Maybe I won't spend all of it because maybe I might want to. I'll spend one, and then I'll spend the astute. So that's three. Um, let's see. Sunshine. We've already established that sunshine does nothing with these currently. Uh, Awareness is 0, so it doesn't take anything away. 3 successes. That's enough. It says sneak a biscuit to soothe 3 fatigue and move 1 biscuit to your roll. So I take a biscuit, put it on my roll, and I get to heal or soothe 3 fatigue, which adds 3 more cards to my hand. And there we go. There's the other card that I was looking for. I get an astute back, and thorough is the card that I wanted. Excuse me. So I will try to take out this Lutrinol, this romping Lutrinol one more time. I'm going to use thorough. So that gives me 3. I need 2. Let's hope. Booyah, 0. So I take this off. I heal a fatigue because I have favored gear on it. I deal him a 2nd damage, which essentially kills it. Now I've got 2 out of 5 underneath the lure. So again, I'm not thinking that I'm going to pass this because I'm running out of daytime on my cards. This does go away along with that because there's no more charges on it. But I'm handling it. I just need to find more people to give them biscuits. I only got 1 biscuit left. I could literally throw that biscuit in this Lutrinol hole because the quest just says you got to have an empty basket. But the actual spirit of the card is like, hey, you should want to feed people. So yeah, let's look at this. I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use my spirit, my only spirit token, and it's a heart-based test. So that's I'll use ancestral teachings, which has a cool ability, but I'm gonna use it for the token. So I have two. Uh, I need two to soak my feet. So I think I'm gonna throw in green thumb as well to give me three on the test. I need two. I don't want to take any risks. I was fine. I should have not spent that card, but you never know. Uh, red. If there are two or more active predators, there's not. So we're in decent shape. So it says soak two. Soak your feet in the cold, clear water to move your focus here. And soothe fatigue equal to your effort. So I had three effort, so I can soothe three fatigue, which is I only have two cards, so it doesn't really change a lot. But I have no fatigue now. And then this is cleared when all the rangers have their focus on it. I'm the only ranger, so that clears the tributary stream. Gets that out of our play area. All right. We're not doing bad. I just need to find one more person. So awareness plus heart. I can search the deck. So I'm going to do that. I want to double check myself because I want to make sure that I am, because this has a presence of two. It's not an obstacle. And so the tributary stream was an obstacle. So I couldn't affect this card because there was an obstacle in the way. But I want to make sure that I'm like I can still interact with this, but I believe I take not damage, but fatigue because there's something in the way. Let's look and see. I think the keyword I'm looking for here is presence. A being's presence. Okay, I don't see that there. Interacting, maybe? 12. Again, we learn things. Perform a test. Along the way or in surroundings, you count as interacting with that card when you perform a test on a card in your player area or played from your hand. I'm just trying to see if this, because I know according to its presence, sometimes if it's something that is blocking it, it can make you fatigued. I try not to block my mic while I read this. The play area, so it says I'm gonna say no. I don't think that's how it happens. Um, eh, hmm. I guess let's just. Hmm. It says traverse. So yeah, I would do a fitness test to traverse past that. Or else I would take 2 fatigue every time I dealt with this because this is in the way. I have no fitness left because I used it to attack. So unfortunately, I can either search the deck and take 2 fatigue, which I've only got 5 cards left in my deck, so I kind of want to slow down on that a little bit until I can get this last biscuit in somebody's mouth. So I'm going to wait. That'll let me draw a card, and then next turn I can try to traverse that so it's not in my way. Unfortunately, yep, I gotta slow down to speed up. So this comes off. All of these refresh. All that's good. I do draw a card. So familiar ground, which was not bad. I'm pretty sure there's a hand limit, but we're gonna play like there's not because I am playing alone and it's hard. Um, and I'll read some rules and make sure I'm doing this right later. But right now, I think that I'm okay with the hand. There's unlimited hand limit. That doesn't sound right, but we'll figure it out. I draw a card from the deck. Haha, I get another person. Vera, Lake Guide. She's a being, human, villager. She's friendly. Let's read her intro. 49. $49.1. A massive muscular arm drops over your shoulder, and you find yourself face to face with a tall woman wearing a thin smile. Hold up, that says a massive muscular arm. Did I just find a muscle mommy? Lola Lime says she definitely wants a biscuit. She wants the biscuit. Hello there. Sorry, that should be more of a womanly voice. Hello there. Name's Vera. I don't know if that's more feminine or not. I make supply runs all over the lake. She sniffs. Something in your bag sure smells good. You mind sharing? It says clear Vera with tokens to charter her boat to immediately travel to any location on White Sky Lake. I was going for feminine and muscular. Hello there. No, I can't do it. So I need 3 tokens to clear her, and then I can charter her lake. I can charter her boat to go anywhere. That's good to know. I probably won't do that because I'm also trying to do the lure. But looking at the map real quick while I am doing this, anywhere on the lake. I mean, there's only 2 locations. There's Golden Shore and there's White Sky. So I wonder if she could take me up the river to like the Spire. It just depends, I guess, which direction the river's flowing. Probably not. She says anywhere on the lake. So I'm glad you're enjoying the voice of my feminine, muscular mommy voice. So then it goes down to Ranger's turn. So yeah, I'm gonna feed this lady a biscuit. So it says spirit plus heart. So here's my spirit. I'm paying it. And I need a 2 at minimum. So I've got 1. My second copy of Intention Translator has a heart, and Green Thumb has a heart. So that's 3. So I don't want to talk about the odds, but I have pretty good odds because I think there's only 1 -2 card in the whole deck. So fingers crossed. Feed this muscle mommy a biscuit. Huzzah! +1. So I have 4. I only needed 2. I'm great. Sun, go down. I see no sun. I see no sun. If there's an exhausted predator, there's not. So we're good. Man, she was so much easier to feed a biscuit to. I got to reshuffle the test deck. Muscle Mama gets a biscuit. So I put the biscuit, which is good because again, the biscuit basket was cut that was really blocking my equipment slot. So like I couldn't put my carbon forged trowel on there. I couldn't put my boundary sensor in there. I was kind of just really stuck dealing with this. So we'll feed her a biscuit. Let's see what her 49.5. So it says, you may immediately proceed. It says, you move down the shore and find Vera cleaning the deck of her longboat. She looks up at you and sighs. You ready? That sounds even worse. You ready? You may immediately proceed to travel phase of the round. If you do, you can travel to one of the following locations: Lone Tree Station, Golden Shore, or Atrox Mountain. Use the lakeshore terrain type when building the path deck. If you choose to travel in this way, discard the current challenge card and do not resolve the remainder of this test. If you choose not to travel, discard her. Now I'm going to wait because, again, there's like a player. I'm considering this like a player choice. Lolo Lime says there's got 20 grams of protein in that biscuit. There's also 1.02 I need to read for clearing out my biscuit. So it's like I put this biscuit in the mouth and then immediately I'll keep my finger in that page. Something happens. 1.02. 1.02 reads, if the Rangers have no biscuits on their roll card, go to this one. Otherwise, read. So, yep, I got biscuit batter on my beard. Biscuit batter beard. With an empty basket, you continue down the path until you come across Calypsa and Cal, resting beside a bubbling stream. Calypsa gestures towards the basket. How did it go? She asks. Before you can answer, Cal gives a mirthless laugh. I think those crumbs in their beard speak for themselves. You glance down and self-consciously brush the biscuit crumbs off your shirt. Complete the biscuit delivery mission and return biscuit basket to the collection. Then I can soothe 2 fatigue, which I don't have any fatigue, and then go to 1.03. So yeah, we were right. If I hadn't eaten any biscuits, it would have been better. But I had to. So I discard biscuit. Put that off to the side, and we go down to 1.03. From down the path comes the sound of melodic whistling. Before long, a man wearing many layers of cloaks and walking with the aid of an ornate conduit follows. As he passes, he tips his wide-brimmed hat in your direction. Good day to you, friends. Good day, Master Ale. Calypso replies, Lone Tree's hanging gardens are thirsty. They'll be grateful for some rain. Fear not, dear Calypso, for there is no shaper more skilled at stirring clouds than I. By the time you return, those gardens will be thoroughly soaked. With that, the shaper continues down the path. He resumes his whistling as he passes from sight. Cal shakes his head. That fool is overly impressed by his own abilities, he says. Trouble will come of it, mark my words. This Cal guy is kind of a dick. Calypso nods, then turns to you. It's time you should be on your way, she says. The village elders often have tasks that require the help of the rangers. I recommend that you seek them out on your travels. I know also that Cordo would like some help dealing with the caustic mulcher that roams the woodlands. That sounds like a thing. I'm not sure what he has in mind, but you can seek him out at Lone Tree Station if you're interested. Farewell. With that, Calypsa and Cal disappear into the forest, leaving you to explore the valley on your own. What you do now is entirely up to you. You could, for example, spend time exploring the different path types to familiarize yourself with the flora and fauna, or you could travel to pivotal locations on the map. So essentially, it's just releasing me into the wild to do what I want. I agree. NPC life. Lolo Lime says these people have too many problems. I mean, that's kind of the point. Is you're a ranger. You're supposed to be wandering around and taking care of people's problems. So I've got this quest. Let's reread this. It says locate one of the local. Um, it says arrive at a new location while there is 5 or more total presents of prey set aside. And then you read 1.42. Sorry, I got something in my throat there. I don't think I'm going to get that done. So I can take Vera up on the Lakeside Guide Quest. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to stay in this location because I am getting close to the end of my day with 4 cards left. I don't know if I'm going to get enough prey. Maybe going to another location would be better. I know that the forest has higher prey, so keeping that quest and going back over there might be better. It doesn't say that the quest ends. Um, I'm just essentially dragging around these dead bodies to use to lure out this creature. Um, so maybe, well, it says if you go somewhere, if you use her and you go somewhere, you keep the lake shore as the base of your deck. Um, I think I'm gonna stay in this town for the night because nothing bad's happening. I'm gonna leave the lore out. I've got 2. Um, hmm. Chat, what do you think? Should I go back to Lone Tree Station and end the day there, or should I end the day here? Because I don't know what uh, other prey is here. I haven't done that much experimenting walking through the lakeside. Yeah, well, it needs 5 points, so I would need like a bigger animal essentially, because these little cat otter things are not really cutting it for prey, for presents essentially. So either way, Vera's gone. I have cleared her. I can take the biscuits off my face. We'll play out the day. We'll see. Maybe I can get more. Um, so I will traverse. I'll spend 3 to try and get rid of this Lutrinol hold. 3, 0. I needed 2, so I clear the Lutrinol hold. Um, Lola Lime, I appreciate your time. Enjoy talking to you. Have a good day at work or wherever you go. See you next time I see you. Um, all right. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. I'm gonna look through it says awareness plus heart. So I've got awareness for days over here. So I'm going to spend all three of it to search the deck. Sun card, no sun, it doesn't affect it. Reshuffle, there's only two cards, so I'm just going to put it on the bottom. And lets me draw three cards, scouting. And again, I'm looking for prey cards. There's a thing called the bubble. It's a feature, water and structure. And it says fitness, swim down to the underwater dome. And essentially, I'd have to yeah, there's something going on down there. I've got too many quests as it is. I'll check it out later. So I put all three of those in the bottom. I draw another one, and I get what I wanted, another Lutrinol, a Romping Lutrinol. Fortunately, it has ambush, so it immediately fatigues me. Because we are running long, I'm probably going to just try to connect with it. Unfortunately, I can't do that. Fudge. I'll exhaust this to make it a 0 so it can't affect me. And I'll end my turn. So everything readies, refills. I draw a card. I now have 2 cards left. So even if I was able to get enough, yeah, this is not going to work. Because if I get 2 more, I'll be out of cards, which will, I think it's what the wording is when you would go to draw a card. The sun comes out. Yeah. No bueno. I draw a card. Carnivorous Naiad. Predator, flora, water. Yeah. So start of my turn. I already drew my card. Yep. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to just end it. Essentially, I'd camp out for the night in White Sky, and the next session I would start would be in White Sky with the new deck. I would keep these under here because I'm still building my lore, and nothing has stopped me. But I don't want to deal with this Carnivorous Naiad because it's one of the big predators in the area, and I don't have enough stamina left essentially to get through the day. So that being said, I do have familiar ground. So I'll spend 1 fitness to use that card. It says add a damage to that and then put 3 on them thing. And then I'll end my turn. And I have 3 on there, so I can travel. So essentially the card has a guy jumping over something bad with a stick. He's just getting out of there. So I'm going to end my day because heading back to White Tree or the Lone Tree Station because I think I'll have better results there with prey because I know there's like deer and stuff, and I think they have a higher presence versus here all the prey that I've seen thus far are just the romping lutrinels, and they have a presence of 1, so they're not really doing much for me. So that ends the session. I'll keep that quest. I'll write it on my quest log, and then I'm going to separate all of these cards. I'm going to keep those out, and I'll have to remember And I'm gonna try not to look through here because I don't want to. I'm looking at the icons, not the. Well, I did see it all. There are not a lot of prey in this area, so it's a good call that I'm heading somewhere else. So that ends our day one of our session. Um, I had the chance to use Vera's boat to travel back, but instead I went on foot because using Vera's boat keeps the lakeshore deck, and I don't want to do that. So I walked back to Lone Tree Station and ended the game at Lone Tree Station again under the Giga Redwood. All right. Well, this has been Friendly Neighborhood Gamer. I've been playing today a solo campaign of Earthborne Rangers. I completed the first quest of the first day, delivering biscuits. Very mundane quest, but surprisingly had a lot of issues trying to get biscuits in the old man's mouth, and it got ganged up on by a couple of these cat otters. But overall, we won. So next episode, I'll be back at Lone Tree Station, and I'll be continuing building out my lure to lure the apex predator Quiet, which apparently sounds like a bearded lynx, and we'll see how that turns out. So get at me in the comments. I look forward to hearing from you, and as always, keep those dice rolling.